Good morning. Good morning. It's so good to have you here as I pull this up on my phone. Oh, I need to go over here and go live as well. All right. Give me a second. And as you get here, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here. And as you get here, make sure that you say, whoops. Okay. All right. It's a beautiful day. It's so funny. I've got this morning when I got up, I thought, it's early. I've got so much time. I think I want to sit and read. Well, I got so engrossed in my reading. All of a sudden, I looked at the clock and thought, oh my gosh, I haven't done all these things that I needed to do. So it was like a mad dash to do everything, but it was glorious. I've got this big fluffy chair that's in my bedroom, and that's one of the places that it just feels so snugly to get in this chair and read. And interestingly, this morning I told my sister that that I wished it was cold outside. I've never said anything like that before. But the reason is kind of silly. It's because I wanted to wear, you know how the winter clothes are like soft and fluffy and snuggly. I wanted to be soft and fluffy and snuggly this morning. So that's why the chair felt so good. And I was actually wanting to wear um, this shirt that I have that is just so fluffy, and it's not even hanging in my closet, but this morning it was in my mind. And maybe it's because today's the first day of fall. I don't know, but it was very interesting that I had all of that going on this morning. All right, so I have an agenda of things that I am going to get to. Like I was telling everybody yesterday, that I have the opportunity today to go and have this hypnosis process that I'm actually studying right now to get another certification. Go figure. But it's an amazing process. And there's a person that's local to me that has to do some of her clinicals. And they have to be in person. So I am actually driving out to her and having that process done today. So I'm super excited. So I get to experience it um, on the client side first before I start actually doing it for others. So it's really, really cool. And I'm so looking forward to it. So like I said, it's a little bit of a drive. So I am going to get to this and go ahead. All right. So before I start, I want to say that, so many of you have expressed interest in the Find Your Voice Challenge, and several of you have signed up. So I'm so super excited to have you in my cohort. I created the WhatsApp yesterday and I sent invites to everybody. So if you're one of the people who are part of Find the Voice and you've got, look for your invite, and it's in Messenger. I believe I sent it in Messenger. And just go ahead and get into the group, because we're going to have so much fun getting to know each other and sharing in that group. And then I'll be putting a post in there to see what works best for everybody, to go ahead and schedule the first Zoom of us connecting. So I'm really excited. And in celebration of the Find Your Voice, I'm using one of the pre-dares to create this morning's affirmation and journal prompt. Because one of the things, for those that are not familiar, because I know there's a lot of people in the group that are not familiar with Stacy and the Do the Thing formula, her challenges. And some of you are, and that's great because it is life-changing. And so what I've been sharing is her Find the Voice challenge, and because was instrumental for me making some major changes in my life. And so I'm doing it again. And she's graciously allowed us, large group of us, that if we want to participate, we can bring people in. They can invest and into Find Your Voice, and then we create a smaller cohort so that we can all be there together, and it's like a more of an intimate kind of thing, so that you can really connect a little bit greater, right? And so, like I said, today's affirmation and journal prompt are from one of the pre-dares. So when it actually starts on Monday, and so the people that have signed up earlier got pre-dares of things to do to just kind of get your thoughts flowing, right? And so I think I have a secret. So if you're still on the fence and you haven't gone ahead and taken advantage of my invitation to do Find Your Voice, and you've been thinking about it, today I think she's allowed me to go ahead and let you sign up. So if you're really thinking about it and you want to do this, because I'm telling you, it's only 17 days, it's recordings that you look at every single day, and you have dares to do, and then you share them. And there is so much that happens in those 17 days. You're going to be blown away. But so if you're still wanting to do that, you still have a little bit of time. And if for some reason you try it and then it doesn't work, reach out and I'll see if she will open it back up. Because I messaged with her, and I think she said I could have you go ahead if you were still wanting to do it, then to sign up. So just reach out to me if you try and it doesn't work. Okay. So anyway, like I said, we have pre-dares that we do. And so one of the pre-dares, let me go ahead and share this affirmation. So as you get here, make sure that you say hello. Let me know that you're here in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and get to this affirmation. And so the affirmation is, I am capable of overcoming my excuses and taking action toward my goals, because my voice matters and I choose to use it authentically. And so, like I said, and excuse me for this, I've got some allergies going on, and there's some rampant allergies right now with the different pollens and stuff as we're into this fall season, right? So anything that you say after the words I am are ultra powerful. Always, always, always ultra powerful. And so we want to make sure that we're saying things that we really want to have, right? So I am capable of overcoming my excuses and taking action towards my goal. Oh, doesn't that feel so good to say, right? And so, like I said, this is kind of created off of one of the pre-dares that we have for Find Your Voice. And that pre-dare, it is, what are your excuses that you usually fall back on when something gets hard, or you're getting out of your comfort zone, and all those things that we use excuses to stop, right? And so we want to make sure that as we're going through our day, and we were going to come across what appears to be challenges in the moment. But remember, we've talked about that before. Opportunities sometimes come as disguised as challenges. They help us to grow or pivot or to do something that puts us on an even better path, right? So I am capable of overcoming my excuses and taking action toward my goals. That is a very powerful statement. So make sure you put it on your index card, your sticky note, the screensaver on your phone, put it on a piece of paper and stick it to the fridge, put it on your mirror with a chalk marker, whatever works for you to have that in your vision field today. And then the second part of that is so really important. And it feels so good to me to say, my voice matters and I choose to use it authentically. And that's one of the places that I struggled with for a very, very long time, is I didn't even know what my voice was. I didn't know what my ideas were. I had spent so much of my life filtering my voice because I learned very early on. I'm a hairstylist. I've grown up with a family of hairstylists. And one of the things that we were taught, not like somebody said, do this, do this, do this, but mirroring what other people did and taking it to another level, is I learned how to discern when I met someone what their vibration was, and what was acceptable conversations for them. What was the acceptable questions. I learned how to just focus on that person and know how to act and what to say and how to be, right? I learned it very early. And so when I had a client come in for the first time, I could immediately get into that place where we had a connection. And it was so powerful. I could understand them better. They could understand me. It was great. However, I did that all the time, whether I was on a date, whether I was meeting somebody for the first time that I wanted to get to know, it didn't matter. So I was never being authentically me. I was being who I thought they wanted me to be in certain respects, right? And so it was um when I say my voice matters and I choose to use it authentically, that is so heart-wrenching because for so long I did not. I did not. And I really got to a place where I didn't even know who I was, what my voice was, what I wanted to say, what was important to me, because I had been adopting everybody else's beliefs and everybody else's actions and thoughts and feelings. And we all do that to a certain extent. You know, as a hypnotist, one of the things that I talk about a lot is that between the ages of birth and even before birth, there's in vitro stuff that happens, right? But basically, from birth to 7, we are inundated with so much information that we attach to ourselves. And in our childhood perceptions, sometimes it's very skewed. But that's who we become and who we keep trying to become as we get older. And so by finally getting into this place and find my voice, find your voice helped me tremendously. But really starting my podcast was where it just really started giving me this voice, this ability to talk about whatever the hell I wanted to talk about. And so I am inviting you to think about, what is your authentic voice? What is it that matters the most to you? What lights you up? What feels good? And then when you think about those things, usually you have something in your mind of, oh, now that I know what that is, I should do this. But what holds us back from doing the thing that we said we wanted to do is that we start getting a little fearful. Our conscious mind is all the time trying to protect us from stepping out of our comfort zone because it doesn't know if we will survive. It doesn't know if we can do it. It knows all the things that we've already experienced, no matter how horrible they may be or how good they may be. It has a clear idea. We lived through every one of those things. And so if those things keep happening, we're good. But if something new shows up, whether it's a new opportunity, a new course, a new workshop, a new person, there are so many new things that can arise, but our subconscious mind might let us tickle it a little bit, might let us like meet someone and it go really well for a certain period of time. And then it's going to go to shit because it's not sure that you can survive that long term. And so it'll do whatever it is that it's been doing in the past to get you to separate from that person. And so it's really important for us to be looking at, what is it that our excuses usually are, right? And so one of my excuses that I use quite frequently, and the time that I say it, it feels true, but it's not necessarily true. And the excuse that I give a lot of times is that I don't have time. I'm busy. I've got this going on, that going on. I've got this calendar and that calendar, and I've got this notebook with all these notes, and I just don't have time. But when I really sit back and I think about it, that excuse is bogus. Everybody has the same 24 hours a day. We spend 8 hours of it sleeping, and the rest of it, it's like, we're game, right? But there are a lot of times that I do busy work, things that don't really make a difference that I can have someone else do for me, right? And so not too long ago, and I've got to do a testimonial for her because it's been amazing. I hired Sue Anderson. She's in the group. She has an amazing Facebook group called Entrepreneurs Gone Wild, but she's also a I don't, what do you call her? She does emails. She is starting to produce, or not produce, but to publish my podcast. And when I know I've got something that I want to reach out to everybody, I just send her a message and say, hey, there's this new thing that I would like to let everybody know about. Can you do that? And so she creates all these things, and it has freed up my life so much. So I recognize how much time I spent doing those things when I could get her to do that for me. And it's been glorious. Another thing that happens is when it comes to time, right, which is my go-to excuse, is that sometimes I will find that I will spend a lot of time trying to learn something to save money. So like before I hired Sue, I spent so much time with MailChimp trying to figure out how to do these different things that I wanted to do for my business, right? And then I had to take all these courses about AI, and I take this and I take that. When in actuality, I don't need to do all of that. I can have Sue to do some of the things, and I can hire someone else to do the other things. It's like going out and mowing my lawn. I spend all this time mowing my lawn when I could have hired someone to do it, and then I could be here doing the things I need to do. So I have a lot of places that I could create more time in my life because I don't need to spend so much time doing the busy thing that doesn't move me closer to my goal, right? So I am capable of overcoming my excuses, and that's just the one. There's more, right? We all have more, and taking action toward my goals because my voice matters and I choose to use it authentically. And so take that excuse away. What could you do if you knew you couldn't fail, right? What could you do? So really get in tune with what your goals are, what your thoughts are around the goals. Are they really your goals? Sometimes we create goals, and the reason we keep procrastinating about it is because it's not our friggin' goal to start with. It's what somebody has inadvertently created us thinking that that's what we're supposed to do. There's a lot of those, right? And so getting in tune with your voice and your authentic voice helps you to open up a little bit to see what are your goals, what are the desires, your intentions in life. And it quiets the voice of the other people that have been telling you things all your life. I mean, we do this to kids when they're little very quickly without even realizing it. No parent has a child, or in my opinion, no parent has a child, and as soon as they're born, they say, oh my gosh, what can I say now to screw them up? And then you just go for it, right? We do things not with that intention, but we still do some things to screw them up, right? One of the things that comes to mind is that when someone has several children, they'll see them doing different things, and then they will start introducing them with this gift that they have, which may not even be anything that they really want, but they may say, oh, meet Krista right here. That's my oldest daughter, and she is the one that is such a stickler for rules, and she'd make a great police officer. I don't know. And then this is my second one, Lisa. And she's the creative one. Man, she can create. So she's probably going to grow up to be an artist or a writer, something like that, because she is so creative. And then Tina over here, she's the sensitive one. She's probably going to be a counselor of some kind, but she's so good at listening. And so in that introduction, which seems very innocent in the moment, but when we do that, and as a child, when you get that information, your subconscious mind starts saying, wait a minute, is that true? Let me see. And then it starts looking for ways for that to be true. Your conscious mind feeds it, where your subconscious mind is, grabbing on to whatever it is your thoughts and feelings are and creating more things to support that. And so you grow up with the idea that maybe you're going to be a police officer. You all of a sudden you start meeting people that are police officers. You get really, really engrossed in that community. You become a police officer. Then later on, you may think, what the hell am I doing? This wasn't my dream. And so we want to make sure that we are being authentically us, right? So that we can do the thing that we said we wanted to do. I don't know if that makes sense. However, I'm going to keep going. All right, so here is our journal prompt, and it's a long one, so it's probably going to be broken up, and I will just have to tell you what the other part is, because I was, let's see, I'll take that, whoops, I'm going to take this part off, and let's just see if that helps, and I can tell you what that is. Let's see. It still broke it up into two parts. So I'll just tell you, because what I'll do is afterwards I go back into the live and I put a copy of the affirmation and the journal prompt in the description so that you have that. So I'll just tell you. All right. So let me go ahead and get to this one. Okay. So I want you to actually sit and really, really internalize this and think about this today, because it's something that is important as we go forward in our lives to recognize when we are making excuses and when we're trying to avoid things, right? I mean, that's different from your intuition says, don't go there. Once you've really gotten in tune with your intuition, it will tell you that thing. But sometimes we kind of believe that it's our intuition when it's really a fear. So we want to make sure we're not making decisions based on fear, right? Our excuses. So reflect on the last time you avoided doing something you said you wanted to do. What excuses did you make? Like I said, the first one that pops up for me all the time is time. So what is it yours? Go ahead, write them down. And then you challenge each excuse by asking yourself, is this truly preventing me from taking action? Or is it a form of self-sabotage? So what I like to tell everybody is to spend like 10, 15 minutes in quiet. Just before, write this all down. Make sure you put the date, the affirmation, and the journal prompt down on your notebook, your journal, and then spend 10, 15 minutes in total silence, just quieting your mind. And one of the things that helps me is if I've got all this chatter going on, is to start labeling things. Like I can hear the ceiling fan. I label sounds. I can hear my computer whirring just a little bit. I hear one of my lights over there is making a little sound. So I can recognize the sounds that are going on around me, which brings me back into the present. Focus on your breath. And then when you open your eyes, then you're going to write as much as you can. Write everything down, all the excuses that you've made. And just don't even judge them. Sometimes your subconscious mind recognizes an excuse that you've made that you didn't even realize was an excuse. So just brain dump everything that shows up, right? And then you can work from there. So don't judge anything. Don't say, well, that's not really an excuse. That's silly. Just write it down. And then after you've written it all down, then go and look at each one of those excuses. Is this truly preventing me from taking action? Or is it a form of self-sabotage? And then when you do that, you can actually say, how can I reframe this excuse into a motivational statement, right? So like I said, my excuse, the first one that ever pops up is time. And sorry, can do cause I'm driving now. Oh, okay. All right, V. Well, just when you get the opportunity, sit with this and just let everything flow. All right. So thank you for being here this morning. So, when it comes to my excuse of time, how can I reframe this excuse into a motivational statement, right? So, since my excuse is that I don't have time, I never have enough time. It's always time's elusive, time's getting away from me, time flies, whether you're having fun or not. Those are statements that I say. And I just realized some of those that I say as I'm talking to you right now, right? And so as you write those things that you say down, right, then you can look at each one of them and say, how can I reframe that? Well, almost every single one of those I can reframe with there's more than enough time in my day to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And it could be that I have become a master at noticing what time I waste so that I don't do it again. So you see, you can create for each one of those excuses that you have, you can create an empowering thought that negates it and makes it where it's not an issue anymore, right? And because when we can be the master of our time, oh, how amazing that is, right? But we get to choose. And that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, too, right? Is that you get to choose where you spend your time. And I've become even more aware recently of how much time I spend on things that don't matter. It's like busy stuff, right? And whether it's scrolling on Facebook, watching some reels, or going down the rabbit hole with Instagram or TikTok. I mean, they're fun, but now I've learned if I know I'm going to get on there and I will be kind of distracted, if I want to just peruse and just for a few moments, I'll even set a timer so that when that timer goes off, okay, I've had this fun. This is what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to move on to something else so that I don't come back an hour later and say, oh, I wanted to do something and I didn't. And so it's just learning what are your excuses and how can you help yourself to not let that be an excuse. So setting a timer works well for me, right? And looking at my day and the tasks that I have and what can I delegate to someone else. And a lot of times that financially is not an option, right? However, one of my friends, and this is glorious, she went to, I guess it's a college near her or something. And there are people there that are studying to do marketing and all these things. So she got a student that is helping her with things because they have to do it to graduate. And it gives them something to put on their resume so that when they go out and start looking for a job somewhere, they already have some things on their resume that they've done. And so it's helping them. And she gets it at no cost because they're getting their schooling by working with her. Brilliant, right? So there's other options besides paying someone to do something. There are other ways to do it. Maybe you have, someone who does some of the tasks that take you forever, and they can do it so quick. Maybe ask them, say, I would love for you to help me with this. How can I help you so that we can just do an exchange? Right? I mean, who knows? But you can do so many different things if you are aware. So that's what we're wanting to do is become aware. And as that awareness comes up, if that is, with what your excuses are that you use and you knock them out, oh my gosh, just think about all the amazing things that you will be able to accomplish in your life. And that doesn't mean that you work 24/7. Heck no. It means that when you are inspired to do things, it's just an ease and a flow. And then there's times that you want to just meditate or you want to read. Like I said, this morning, I spent time reading. And then maybe you want to go spend some time with some friends. So it's not that you're bringing up time just to do your job, your profession, your you're coaching, whatever it is, but you're also allowing more time and space in your life for all the things that matter, your friends, your family, yourself, right? So, what are your excuses? And how can you reframe this excuse into a motivational statement? Spend some time with this sometime today and just really play with it. And like I said, this comes from one of the pre-dares with Find Your Voice. And so I just, for some reason, this was on my heart this morning to share with you guys, because I know a lot of people have not signed up for the Find Your Voice challenge, so they don't even really know. But you can still sign up if you choose, and like it's up to you, whatever works for you. I'm not saying you have to sign up, heaven forbid. So I just invite you, even if you choose to not sign up this time and you wait till another time, that's okay. But spend some time today with this particular dare. What are your excuses? And use this affirmation and journal prompt to really suss out what all of that's about and how you can become so relaxed and such a flow in your life from here on out with ease and flow. Oof. Won't that be amazing? All right. So, like I said, I've got some places to go and people to see, and I've got an amazing day ahead of me, and I hope you do as well. Thank you for being here. And if you're actually watching the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay. And I'm so excited to have you part of this group, this community. And I look so forward to all the things coming up. And just a reminder, this week on Wednesday, the 25th, at 7 p.m. Eastern, Ruthie is going to be in the group sharing some of her expertise on a natural health. It's going to be good. So make sure that you're there, and all the information is in the events section. And actually, I'm creating the events for next month. For some reason, it wouldn't let me create anything yesterday. So I thought, okay, obviously I'm not supposed to create it right now. I'll be waiting. So I'll probably be doing that either today or tomorrow. And so that you'll know what the events coming up are. And thank you, V. Blessings to you as well. So I'm so excited. And V, you are part of my group for the um, Find Your Voice Challenge. And I saw that you are already into the WhatsApp. And so I'm waiting to get a few more people in there, and then we'll start really diving in with each other on how this is going to go, what our intentions are. And so I'm super excited, and I'm excited to have you there. All right. So you have let's see, what could we say? So usually Wendy is here telling me what this one is. Have a day where your authentic voice looms bright. I don't know. Let's see. What else would I say? Let's see. Have a day where you discover your excuses and blow them out the water. That sounds good. All right. So see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Mwah.